Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. We are now starting part 3 of the agriculture hotfix play along, and we have just started tilling the wheat fields. So start your games ladies and let's get back to business. Okay, so let's then do that. I was considering to basically cheese the game a little bit to get a storehouse. But you know, there's nobody supervising us, so we can get away with it. We just do as we like. How about that? And let those work on that. So those who are new of you who are watching, if you do it like this, it is not necessarily as intended, but it will get the job done. If you have an agenda and you don't want to wait for everything, you can cheese things because there's always something you can do to improve your knowledge skills. So those who are going to work on these, they will gain architecture unless they don't work long enough. So it takes roughly 1 day or so before they are granted the rudimentary skills, and with that I mean the first tick. This guy already has, this guy already has, and you can see how much they have learned by the colors. Blue means that this is the knowledge they already have, and when it turns to green it means that this is the knowledge they have learned recently. So I'm looking for someone who does not have rudimentary skills. This one, after 1 day or so, he should get it, unless he does not work on these pits the next day as well, because you do need roughly 1 day or so to get a rudimentary skill. If you have increased intellect or increased skill grades of the traits, you could learn faster, but for anyone who does not, or a neutral grade trait personality, you take roughly 1 day or so to start learning. Also with regards to the colors and the skills and the learning and the loss of knowledge, for anyone who does not remember or does not know, especially new players and those who are coming back after having been gone for a while, a red can happen, but it will only happen if you have a max skill holder that has not managed to teach away any of the skills. And this can happen if you either have too few objects that need maintenance and repairs, or if you have a famine and your max skill holder dies before he has taught anything to any of the tribe members. So if you have an incident where you have a famine and you lose your max skill holder, unless there is someone below him with lower skills or skills at all, you will actually lose the entire knowledge. This means you can't build anything within that knowledge and you have to wait for migrants. It shouldn't go this way, because you shouldn't have a famine, and you also need to make sure that you have an activity that causes at least 1 or 2 more persons to learn the skills. So here's the few things that people who start, for instance, in 10k BC or close to 10k BC need to do in order to build the skills without spamming absolutely everything. You can get away with spamming a lot of the crafter items. You should, for instance, put both sticks and wooden spears on unlimited. That means that they will always improve their woodworking skills, and also toolsmithing, because then you are working yourself up to have better tools, meaning more efficient work will be done much more quickly. Also, if you have only pelt huts, then you need to rely on migrating very regularly in order to get enough pelts to do a lot of building. And as soon as you get 1 more notch of architecture skill, you go directly over to the small straw huts and just spam them. You can probably afford it, because when you are a fairly small tribe, you will not bleed your close vicinity dry of food and materials, so you won't lose a lot of work hours in logistics because people will come home fairly quickly with materials to help out. And as soon as you can build pits, go for the pits and don't spam the housing anymore. Pits are cheap and quick, and it gives architecture skill to everyone who works with it for at least a day or so. So keep that in mind. There are ways to cheese things. If you are impatient and you do not want to wait and you are in the very early Mesolithic 10k or so, migrate. Kill all animals, do all the skinning and the leatherworking, add pelt huts until you get straw huts, spam the straw huts until you get pits. When you get pits, stop spamming any housing, spam the pits until you get reed hut and straw hut. Then you can chill a bit and then just take it along, because the reed hut is the first hut that actually does not piss your people off even more. So you can see it's neutral, meaning that they won't grow unrest if they rest in that one, if they sleep in that one. Well, these are not good. The worst, of course, is open and then the fireplaces, of course. Right, so I have 49 reed, and our storehouse needs 10 logs and a gazillion sticks. Is it 20? I say gazillion, I don't exaggerate ever. So I would like this one to be beets, because beets are the ones that has the lowest decay, the highest decay of the crops. Let's just see how much material we need again. Pretty sure we have everything. We need 10 logs. Do we have 10 logs? We do. We have 16. What about ropes? We need 3 times 2. That's 6. So we have 10. Sticks we need 32. We have 105. Fine sticks we need 20, and we have 300. Are you sure you have enough there, Lily? Okay, not exaggerating in the slightest. Maybe I should chill a bit on the sticks. What do you guys think? There you go. I should probably chill on these as well. 100 is plenty enough, isn't it? I have 130. Right, well, when the craftsmen are done, it means they will go over to the struggling group because they have no more work. 32, so I need 3 pregnant. Okay then, I will need another 3 sleeping spots. That can be arranged. Let me see. Yeah, that's fine. So did you guys build a squircle, or did you build a proper circle? It's just me who can't make circles. Did you build a square or a triangle? What did you build? Did you build the Uffington horse? Are you building the Uffington horse? If you do and you succeed with a good scale, teach me. I haven't had time to brush up on the Uffington horse, unfortunately. I normally don't have more than max 1 week to get everything I need to get done, because then the devs are adding new patches. I mean, I think that the lowest amount of patches I have played in a 3-week period is 13, which is quite a few. It just shows how active they are. Let's see, I'll put on 37, that should be plenty enough. That means I can open these up. No. Oh, is that one done? No, it isn't. Oh my god, I have 4. Yeah, I have 4 beads, don't I? Because I forgot about them last time, didn't I? Crikey. That's exactly what I did. I did not remember to save my beats. So here we go. It will be a lack. It is what it is. But I will have more for next season. So that's good. How my people do? They seem to be fairly happy, don't they? I can't see any negative stuff. She's big. She also is very big. And she is very big. Remember last time I said, why is everyone in my tribe so big? There's so many big in my tribe. Maybe those were the 4 that were big, and then there's nobody else that could also be it. Oh, she's very small. Oh yeah, charisma goes down and fitness goes down. I would think charisma should go up, because I mean, the smaller they are, the cuter they are. You know, my grandma used to say it doesn't matter how small you are, because if your feet reaches the ground, you are tall enough. She was a smart woman, a wise woman. You can be a bit small in all your ends, as long as you reach the ground, you're all good. So there. Yeah, I don't have enough reed to do anything at the moment. I was wondering, should I do a straw or should I do a reed? Because reed is much more costly and costs a lot more to keep maintained. If we want to stay here for decades, someone wanted to know how to survive. I think it was 26 years. 26 years is not a problem. I'm 36 at the moment on the testing server with 2 patches in. Oh no, 1 patch. I'm counting the hotfix with 1 patch in, so it's fully doable for everyone. Just saying, everyone can do it. See these holes? So what I am going to do, I'm going to place over them a new field to see if some of them can be covered. Oh gosh, I just need to not cover that one. Yeah, okay, it's below the stone. So there is the limit. Okay, so there's... Oh, that one was weird. Why is that one still there? Isn't that weird? Extraordinary. Well, 1 square that I can't explain is better than 8. This one there probably has something growing on it underneath. Something disseminating and sprouting up soon. We shall find out. Because don't forget they do that. They go into the ground and then they start growing in the ground and then come up. Well, we have plenty tall grass. So tall grass, for anyone who does not know, will grant you fiber and reed. The amounts are not huge, and we might not need it as much for fiber, because flax, when you are threshing it, will also grant you fiber, and you will get quite a bit of fiber, to be honest. So fiber should not be an issue for anyone at any point in the game when you have agriculture, when you are in the Neolithic era and have managed to get the agriculture skill. So keep that in mind. You don't have to stress about harvesting 1,000,000 fiber to get all your baskets or all your ropes. It's a nice income every time you are threshing your flax. I wonder if flaxseed will ever manage to be grinded and then made into the bread. Or maybe like we do today, we put the seeds in the bread, you know, flaxseed in the bread. Could be done. Who knows? There was this smart comment on one of my videos that I did about bread, making bread. We were talking about sand, you know, when you do it like this, when you grind on 2 stones, there will be stone particles that is released and then basically going into the flour and hence into the bread. And he suggested that this is why it was called sandwich. I thought it was a really good artistic freedom expression there going on. Oh, that was a good one. So I wonder if we will have a yeasting, like yeast, you know, to rise the bread, a yeasting process, you know, with some old senile tribe member leaving the dough close to fungi, and then it goes into the dough, and maybe people learn, oh, it's suddenly twice as big. What does this mean? Let's cook it, and then it tastes delicious, with or without sand. Well, when trading come, I wonder if we can get salt and add to the bread as well, because then it's going to get more and more delicious, isn't it? There's so many things that belongs, that I would want in the game, but we can't fit everything in. It will have to come later. I know that the devs are making notes of all the suggestions that the community is coming with, and the ideas and tweaks and changes and wishes. So they probably have a complete hard drive full of suggestions and wishes from the player community. So we'll just see what they add as we go along. Am I out of seeds? No, I'm not. Oh, that means that more than one wants to do the planting, and of course we have 4, meaning that there's not enough seed for everyone, only for 1 or 2 of them. That's fine. We're almost ready, aren't we? Are we not? Maybe. So that one has nothing, can just as well open it. There you go. Also, one thing I would like to explain to new players or players who are outdated, the loss of knowledge when your knowledges are turning red, when you have red on your knowledges. This can happen for a few reasons. None of them is down to random or to chance. This is pure player insight. But just keep in mind, whoever is starting in 10k BC, you have 7 people, and if you don't let people work for long enough on the objects that grant archaeology again, that grant architecture, they will not manage to get the rudimentary skill in time, and hence you can go an entire lifetime and not having anyone else in your tribe learning this skill. So keep that in mind. Make sure that you see people are getting the rudimentary. Add extra pits if you have to make sure, or add extra peltas or whatnot. Just keep working on it to make sure that you get it. I am probably going to suggest to the devs that they cut down the rudimentary skill time, or the time needed to get a rudimentary skill, but it's not lack of congruency that they don't get it immediately. It is correct, but it makes it quite tedious for us players. If we start in 10k BC, we have 7 people and that's it. We can't have everyone going to build, so there perhaps should be a little bit of a tweak there to make sure that the rudimentary skills are fairly quickly being learned. So if you are unlucky, if you have a famine, or if this person leaves due to lack of housing and whatnot, or from old age, you should always have a backup with that. A rudimentary skill could be easily learned, so you don't lose the entire knowledge, because that sucks really bad. I mean, if I had lost a knowledge like that, I would just restart. No way was I going to wait centuries to get a migrant that I might and might not get. So yeah, like I said, nobody's supervising us. We can do as we like. And I do as I like. Just saying. There is more ways to roam than one. So yeah, and repairing, don't forget, all new players, all repairs also grant skills. It grants knowledge. So if you start 10k BC, keep an eye on the architecture. Make sure that you don't lose skills. Spam what you must. You should be fine, because when you are a tiny tribe, which you are at 7 people, you have everything very close to your vicinity. You don't need to worry about waste. Just migrate. No problem at all. How much? Yeah, I have almost 200 straw, so it's not a problem. I think I'm going to have to add another one now, because now we are, as soon as these babies are 2 years old, the mums will let them out from her sling, and then they are going to roam free in the tribe, and they will also take a sleep spot. Not before. And also the males and female count, the tally, does not include the babies, only the children, because the babies have not revealed their gender until they become 2 years old and then jump over to the children section. So keep that in mind. So for all we know, you could have 19 females already, but 3 of them are babies, so they don't show. Yeah. So let's get. Okay, I'm gonna wait. Oh, should I do a reed hut perhaps? Are better quality. And why are you unhappy? Why do you have angry face? Exploited. Dude. Oh yeah, you're sleeping by the fireplace. Let's do something about that. I put maintenance on 20, didn't I? I'm pretty sure I did. Let's see. Yeah, I did. 150. Why did I say 20? 120. There you go. Need 150. It's quite stark, isn't it? When you consider that the Neolithic roundhouse only costs 75. But then again, you also have mud and everything, don't you? But this one doesn't have mud. This have reed everywhere, so it does make sense. But it feels stark. It feels really steep sound of all those reed. I'm gonna let them collect till they have 150, and then I'm gonna put down another reed hut. 7. Okay. How many do I have in the straggler groups? It's basically max, isn't it? So it's a kind of a swing door effect, because they will leave to go fill out the groups that has higher priority, and then come back when those groups are either done or the work spots are full or whatever or whatnot. So next time I need to remember to do another field over this one, because it has a lot of squares that is not covered with wheat. It's covered with something else, I just don't know what. Half a seed of beets left, but at least we got some covered. So we do have a few, so we can get a proper yield next year or next season. Why do I have 250 clay? I can chill on that, because there's going to be a while before we get roundhouses. See, with the plant fibers that are too many, at least for the way I play, they will decay away. Because I don't use a ton of them. So maybe I should make a storage area for the tools, so they don't float around everywhere. I think that's a good idea. I haven't made it already, I'm just seeing now. No, I haven't. Lovely thunder. Or do I have bows? I do. Duh. Don't have those yet, so that can wait. Don't have those. I do have those. And of course the wooden spears, and also the wooden trident. There you go. Have that a little bit more tidy. Let's get some speed. So remember the big reed or big straw huts? They are neutral. They are not bad at all. They do not make your people more unhappy at all. It's still there. Ooh, we can practically see the plants growing. We can see the plants growing. Oh, I had to hear the thunder. I had to turn down the speed so I could hear the thunder. So cute. Probably have to make these for some of the other produce, because there's no way there's going to be enough beets to fill any of these, and this one I've put down to the lowest limit, which I really should open up because they should eat up whatever it is. Oh, okay. That was quick. I didn't even finish the sentence. I wanted to say that the tribe should eat up whatever was left over, so the rot on the whatever's there does not go over to the fresh ones. And poof, that did what I wanted. So with wheat, with regards to the economy of wheat, one wheat sheaf, which is a wheat, when you grind it, you get 2 grains. When you mill it, you get 1 unit of flour, and that 1 unit of flour will grant you 10 bread. So that's quite a end product yield, which is really good. The input versus the outcome is really good. You do not have this luxury though with flax yet, so wheat is more economical than flax. Everybody seems to be fairly happy, except we was the one that was really grumpy. It had like everything negative you could possibly have that will affect your mood or affect your ability and or your want to work. Oh, she'll be grumpy when she comes out as well. Oh, there she is. Told ya. Told ya. Yeah, she's feeble. Sure. She's indecisive as well. And she's slow. Well, snow is not a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. Why are you hungry? Oh my goodness. Quack. I put the food down to 1, didn't I, over winter? That wasn't so smart. Basically, that wasn't smart at all. I forgot about it. Sorry, food incoming. Worry not. So when you are waiting for your produce to get done and for it to be harvested, you will have very little from nature, unless you are lucky with berries and stuff. So keep in mind that. You need to make sure people have food over the winter and through the spring. There you go, you can eat all those. Those are old, so they can be eaten up as well. Yeah, I forgot to open up. But it's okay, they're getting food now. So they can go help themselves from the pits as well. with regards to diseases, the disease we have in the game at the moment is famine, and famine means starvation. So if you have a famine, you will also have starvation, and you will get warned with a starvation bowl. It is red in their current state. So red is really bad. Yellow is a warning, which is when we have the angry faces, and the bowl is red. So the thing with starvation bowl is it takes a few days before it shows, but the weaker people are, the lower fitness they have, the quicker it will show, and it can take 3 to 4 days or even longer, depending on people's fitness, to get rid of this disease. So this is why it is so important that when you've had a famine and you are again on your feet, to take away all rationing. If you had rationing while there was a famine, sure, but remember to take it back to normal so people can get a full meal, because they will quicker get rid of the starvation. So when they have starvation and they eat a meal, the level of hunger will go down, but not from top to zero. It will go down bit by bit. So if you have one saying I'm famished, then he eats 2 meals per day, and then he will say instead I am very hungry, and then the day after when he eats full meals it will say I am hungry, and then it will go down to normal. So it takes quite a few days before this process is done doing what it should do, from starvation and down to normal. If you go above the usual 3 days or so for people who have a starvation bowl, it will turn into a fatal starvation, and you can rarely get back from that. If you have a tribe member with fatal starvation, they are likely going to succumb to the disease of starvation. So no rationing then. And also remember, when people are in a famine, people have a starvation bowl, they can't work, because then they are too weak to work. And this is an evil circle, because when they are too weak to work, they also can't go out and get food into the camp. So there are many factors playing a part to why a tribe dies just by one famine. So it's quite an evil circle, isn't it? Okay, so now they're gonna start, in July they will start harvesting the beets. So that's good. I can take down the these. They can go down to 2 easily for the food. No problem at all. You can see there's plenty of food. It's just I hadn't granted more than one person. That is not enough on 30 plus people. Nope. So this is good. I do not build the big fireplaces anymore. I only build the small ones because they are so cheap to build and they are cheap to maintain. The big ones demand several logs per maintenance, even though it takes weeks before they need maintenance. I just find it annoying that I always have to use my lumberjacks in order to get fuel for the fire, and I can't be arsed with that, so I'm just using sticks. Because as long as you have trees, you have sticks. It's probably the most rich resource we have in the game, sticks. I'm pretty sure it's more than stones as well. Trying to build any monuments, you suddenly have no stones. It feels like you have no stones. But of course you do have stones. You don't really go out of stones, do you? They're also in the rivers. Can't see it, but they are there. Where am I reed? Where's my reed? There you go. These are fairly fresh, aren't they? Fairly young. July, this means that the first beets are ready to be harvested. They really do look like cabbage, don't they? the wheat is maturing. Do we still have boars? Oh no, we don't. It's self-dead animals, isn't it? There you go. So this is the little influence of Mesolithic we have in the tribe, because we got Mesolithic migrants. But now that we are past 4K BC, we will no longer get any Mesolithic migrants. They will only be Neolithic. So unless the people we have in the tribe now can get kids and teach them their almost said religion, and teach them their culture, we will not have Mesolithic when their generation is gone. Why are you unhappy? You work too much. +7. Meh. Meh. Your will is a bit bob. There is a lot of wheat, but not all of it gets harvested. Let's see how far away we are. Going a bit slow, isn't it? Maybe I should spam a bit more. Or maybe I shouldn't be so greedy. I mean, she had the absolute worst grades ever to be pregnant, because her fitness has just plummeted. And she's too weak to work. Yep. Okay, so we got 26. I think I need to take those away and put them in here. So now we have 20 there. And there's still a few left to harvest, so we should have plenty for next season. So if they just fill it with 20 and keep it like that, then the others can take the rest. The tribe can eat whatever is left over. It's quite a lot to have 21 stragglers besides farming time, that is gathering stone. Yeah, I still have people who are sleeping in the open or by the fireplace. So it's going to be good to get down the reed hut. That will be done sooner rather than later. 125, we're almost there. We have those and we have sticks. How many fishermen? I have 1. We're going into autumn. So we are going to get cultivated yield, meaning we will have food over the winter. This depends on how much it is. I might actually have to increase my farms already. Might have to see. Don't forget that the temperature decides the yield you are getting. So if the temperature is not ideal, you could get less than the usual on ideal temperatures. I don't recall all the temperature parameters, but wheat does love hot weather, that's for sure. If you go down to Spain, if you go inland Spain and plant wheat, you will have over 1 per plot in yield, and that is really rich, really rich. So here in France inland we should get between 0.5 and 0.8 or even more depending on the temperature, but we should never go below 0.5 in yield per plot. Remember, the further up in north you are, the less the yield will be. And we are sure to have bad years, which is why we need to rely on any subsidiary food income like fish, hunting and wild produce of any kind, really. Anything edible. And that can go to 50 now, I think. Okay. So one of the reasons why some people are struggling with staying long term is, of course, what I've always been harping on about, the balance. But what I see a lot of players do is that they build above their need. So if you have a 30 population, we have 35, let's say we have my population, why would anyone build a lot more than they actual need? Because you need to remember that the need for the tribe will be incremental with the population growth. So if you overbuild before you have the population for it, that means it is more work for the current population. So what you are basically doing is that you're creating work that they do not need. And if you're not careful with this, you are easily coming to a point where some materials will suffer from this and some materials will come into the camp in lesser amounts, which you actually do need, for instance, repair and maintenance material for your population. But if you want to stay long term, you need to keep in mind that the less you waste, the longer you can stay. This is why it's so important to have those limits on absolutely everything you do, especially food and the materials you need to maintain and repair. If we take, for example, a material that is used for roundhouses, that we only need one time per roundhouse, which is the mud. You need a huge amount, 750, but it is nothing in comparison to 2 decades of using reed for maintenance. So if you go overboard on mud, no problem. If you go overboard on sticks, no problem. If you have trees, you have sticks. But the reed will diminish more and more per year, and in the end you will have to go to the very edges of the map to get what you need. And after 20 years you will be fairly low on all materials. Why are you guys unhappy? Let's have a look. Don't tell me I've forgotten to feed you guys again. No proper housing. Let me see. The food is incoming, but I think I'm gonna for the winter up my fishermen and let them gather a bit extra for the winter, because it won't be much over winter of any wild yield, so I'll just get it in house now and just store it a bit. Because it will be eaten, that's for sure. I really should build another hut, shouldn't I? But I want to build a reed hut because they are better quality. So when belief comes, the next patch, the belief patch, and we are getting quite a big help to our population that I can't really talk about. I am dying to say it, but I cannot. But you are going to love it. Just hang tight there, Bubbles. You will soon find out. So when belief patch is released, we only have 2 left. We have raiding and trading, trading and raiding. And trading will help us to stay sedentary, because we can then trade for what we need with what we have too much of. So I assume that the value of what we are needing to buy is varied, of course, based on what it is. And I assume that flint and fine raw stone are likely going to be the most expensive, along with meat and fish, and probably honey. So I do hope we can trade for food types, and I do believe, at least I hope so, that the traders that come have a varied stock with them every time, and not always the same. So that's going to be fun to see. I can't wait. I can't wait for anything. I want it all. I need to see it all right now. It's really exciting. Well, I'm not sure if everyone knows, but the devs have said that if things go the way they want to after release of the game, they are going to start the next project for the game, which is a downloadable content. And that is going to be Paleolithic. It's going to be the pure Ice Age, with woolly rhinos and mammoths and igloos. I hope they have igloos. I don't know. I'm a bit talking out of one tier rather than knowledge. I hope they have igloos. And it's going to be so fascinating to see what they come up with. And if you guys are still playing, or if you're new to playing when that time comes, don't be afraid to give suggestions. Don't be afraid to do your own research and find out things about the Paleolithic that can help. Because like I said, the devs have notes of everything that the community wants, wishes, ideas, suggestions. They have all of this already written down. Nothing is lost or forgotten. Be aware of that. So if you came with a suggestion half a year ago, they have it down somewhere. It's written somewhere. They will go over it when they are at that point in the game where they could use a few suggestions, or where they want to implement community suggested changes, items, etc., etc. It's a very community immersed game. Like, they are really open to our suggestions, to what we either think is more correct, or what we want, or what we think is cool, you know, several things. I mean, if they are open to use really fun words and descriptions on their personalities or their behaviors, why on earth wouldn't they be open to everything else? It goes hand in hand, doesn't it? It's not only one side that is funny, it's the rest as well. It's good. I find it really good. See, do I have good? Am I getting too much food here? I'm going to chill on the gatherers. I'm going to put them down to 2, I think, and just see how it goes. I have 70 of those. That's a lot. I'm gonna put a lid on these now, so that we have for next year. We can't forget that. I'm gonna lock down that one, and this one already is locked. Now we have saved seeds for next, so then they can eat what they want of all of these. And we are still threshing both the wheat and the flax. And you can see that the plant fiber house has gone up quite big. But if you see that your rot circle on the wheat and the flax is going over half, you should probably build another thresher, Because when you have built a thresher, then you get the grains, and then we can actually store them for longevity. So it's always a good idea to have people threshing them as quickly as possible. If you have wheat and such that survives and can manage your temperature, then you don't have to stress too much with it, because then you are dividing the food on day by day instead of always having to thresh absolutely everything to keep it. Look at that. Excellent. Now I have 3 of each. Small men here, yeah. A lot of people still do not quite get why are both cultures mentioned in this object. You have Atlantic Mesolithic, which is mostly red. The reason we have a little bit of blue in it is because we have a few Mesolithic members that came as migrants. And Atlantic Neolithic is because we are smack in the middle of the Neolithic, hence it will be fully green. There's only a tiny lack, and you can find the overview here. So if you go look at this one again, you will see that why can I build it when Atlantic Mesolithic is red? It is because when you have both cultures showing, whichever has been fulfilled will grant you the access. So if both have been red, you wouldn't have gotten anything. If Atlantic Neolithic had been red, but you had blue or green, Atlantic Mesolithic, you would have been granted the item. So whenever you see both cultures at the same time, you know you will only need to fulfill one of them. There are no objects in the game at the moment where you need both cultures at the same time. So there. Good to know. A lot of confusion still about the knowledge, but I think that has to do with that perhaps the players do not play enough to find the understanding as they are playing, because you will learn as you play. That is half the point of not spoon feeding absolutely everything that is happening to the game to the players, to let them develop their own view and their own insight. I actually quite like that, I have to admit. Not everyone does. It's not everyone's cup of tea. A lot of people would like to be told everything. I actually don't mind not being told everything, because I find it so exhilarating when I discover new and really cool things. So, but we are not all the same. Some like it hot, some like it cold. That's what my grandma used to say. Oh. Okay, so we are closing up to, how much do we lack? We are probably lacking just a few percentages to be able to build around houses. So I think what I want to do is to, before planting starts with wheat, I am going to cheese the game a tad and build more of these. Because we have 100, so let's build 5. But I thought I placed down 6. I'm going to have to admit that how poor I am in maths, but I hadn't. I put down 5. I'm still okay. I don't need to do that. There's no need to put up priority, because they will rush to your building project anyway, because of the adherence to building and repair is really strong. Okie dokie. Oh, I think I said I was going to change this one, didn't I? So if I do that and then go to whoever this is, it's you, yeah. So you guys are going to build over it again. Oh gosh, where are you? Are by the stone, and where are you? You are okay. That one. One, not no. I did it again. At the wrong tool. Hang in there. Let me see. And one below. There I have it. And I have it still. Yeah. Okay, never mind. I give up. I'll just leave it as it is. It means that something is growing underneath. I will just take everything that comes. We shall see what those two are. We shall see. I don't think we're going to get snow in these parts of France. But if you go to the Alps, you will get snow, and you will get snow or thunder snowstorms. It has a word I can't quite remember, where you have thunder while you have a winter. It's rare, but it does happen, and it's really cool to watch. How many people are on this? Okay, so we don't have full capacity, which means there are too much to do at the moment. Otherwise, it would be filled up. So as soon as the farmers need to do their work, these spots will be filled immediately because they have max priority, while whatever has least priority will go to those that needs above those who have higher priority. So it's quite almost an idiot-proof system. It's quite a watertight system. But the larger tribe you have, or the more skills people have, if they are fairly equal in skill, you can, for the first few seconds after you have created a group that has a low priority, have a little bit of yo-yo effect, a little bit swing door effect. So keep that in mind. Just wait a few seconds until they decide who is better for the job, because that's exactly what they're doing. It's politics, you see. They're arguing about who is doing a better task, who will do the job better, and in the end they will agree. And then the groups are no longer having this yo-yo effect. You see, it never lasts very long. So the fights are short, and just to make sure that they don't ruin the weekend. I think that's a great idea. Fight during the weekdays, and then we are off for the weekend. What are we lacking? Are we lacking sticks? Oh, I know why. Because I have built these with whatever we had. Okay, let's see if we can regain some of the materials. We can do that. That means that this one will be repaired. Ta-da! They are rather efficient, these little ants of ours, aren't they? They don't muck about. When things needs to get done in the camp, they will do it. There is no fiddling about. Let me see. This one needs. Ta-da. See what that did to our architecture. Look how close we are. I'm just gonna wait a little bit till we get more sticks, and then I'm gonna cheese it a bit again. So you guys can do this as well. You don't have to wait for it to happen constantly the way it used to be. You can make your own timeline. You can make your own speed. You don't have to blindly follow whatever was congruent. If you have the tools to do this, then go for it. If you have the opportunity, don't be afraid to take it. Not everyone wants to play the way they used to. Some of us wants to have a little bit more progression, and then, you know, build grand villages with lots of fencing and lovely stuff. You want to have access to basically everything. If you look at this, we still need quite a bit, both architecture and stoneworking, even though I've set my crafters to build. Is it 50, or maybe it's just 20, because we're fairly low tribe, fairly low population. But also when belief comes, there will be tombs and burials and meaning new buildings. I am testing it now, and I love it. Absolutely love it. You're all gonna love it, seriously. Just wait and see. Fantastic. I will of course make a patch notes explanation video of things that is new. At least of the things that I find is important. And probably do a little bit of spoon feeding, because not everything is self-explanatory as soon as you see it. Sometimes you do need a little bit of help to get to the what's that? All sticks. Yep. A little bit of help to grasp everything, because some of these things are rather intricate. There are many areas that is very deep with regards to what you need to know to understand it fully. And to be quite honest, most of the time you don't need to understand it fully. You don't need to know each and every one's personalities or the grades or whatever to figure out how the gameplay is going to be. Because it's not like you don't know that when you are elder, you are not contributing as well as you did when you were younger, and as you grow older, you will lose everything. You will count down to zero, which is end of life. And we all know what charisma means. You don't have to or have all the numbers. You know, oh, charisma. That is nothing that is bad, is it? So it's always a good thing. So a lot of it is self-explanatory, but some of it is always not always as self-explained as this. You basically are transferring your knowledge from real life to how people are into the game, which is exactly what the devs have done. It is the mimicking of personalities, the mimicking of people's behavior versus their environment, versus your policies. So there. Oh, the leader have no kids, but maybe he does. Sneaky. Very sneaky, but congruent. I would have been furious though. Oh, come on guys, get some sticks then. Can't have it like this. I gave you 2 more people. Oh, I think I see the issue. They want to get everything in one go. But they normally are dividing themselves really well on all the tasks that you have given them. I've given them quite a few tasks because the resources are so close, they don't have to walk half the day to find them and come home with them. So that's good. Oh, mud! Now I see. We need a drop of mud. Can do. Not you. Not you. You can do mud. Because you are empty anyway. So if you do 150 to get them up and running, that'll do it. That will do it. So, something for anyone who doesn't know, the Constitution decides when your object needs repairs. And for instance, the roundhouse takes years before it needs repairs because it's much more sturdy construction, isn't it? And it doesn't take a lot of materials either, which is really good. While those who are of poor quality, they will need more repair and more often. So just keep that in mind. If you have sturdy things, they will go a long time before they need repairs. Still there. So even though we have all these people doing the raw stones for the monument, they are also doing the building. They have the responsibility. So this means that they might get like 5-10 stones, and then they will go place these stones on the monuments that we've built the many years, and then they will go out and get new ones. So that is why you can see that the report on the building will have lack, and then it goes back to under construction, then it goes up to we lack stone again, and this is why you have this yo-yo effect on the items. If you don't want the yo-yo effect on the items, then do not grant the same group that is carrying stone to also build the items. And I don't recommend letting tribe only do it, because that means that they will drag away at least one person per object based on not only vicinity but also skills, who is best suited for this. And you could create a yo-yo effect in your groups where people are, say they are equally far away from the camp and no one else is in the vicinity, then these will drop whatever they're doing and go back to do these building tasks, because that is how they do it. They discuss between themselves. I almost said, well, you can say, you can role play it, yeah? They discuss between themselves who is best suited for the job. And this goes for all the tasks you have in your tribe, including some of the mundane ones, such as tanning and of course, taking off the dryer and placing on the dryer. It is basically food processing skills and belongs, of course, to a knowledge. Good to know, isn't it? That they have this discussion, that claiming that, no, I'm better at this job than you are, I am better than you. Well, at least they agree in the end, but they need a few seconds to agree between themselves, that's for sure. And then they get it right. How are we doing on straw? We're good on straw. But I think, why are they not putting straw? Or because I keep them so busy that people who are tidying do not have time to do that. But you know, the high stack and this one, they are both assigned to straw. So whatever is closest to the people who come home with the resources, they place it on the closest one. Look how much better the beets are doing in a storehouse compared to in the open, where they probably would have been decayed even more already. But the devs have made so that the beets have a much longer decay period to make sure that they survive no matter what storage facility, or not as it may be, that we have. Kind of had to, didn't they? Because not everyone has access to pits. And baskets are basically only one step up from the storage area. So there is a decrease in decay, of course, but not really very high. The best one, of course, is the storehouse. Okay, so now they have done the tilling. They're lacking a few plots. Yeah. And 4 people for half a farm is plenty enough. So when I do a full one, I'm going to do 6. And let every free person go to the straggler group and complete the monument, the squircle. I think that's a excellent thing. Okay, we have 25. Why are you so slow? Have I given you too much to do? Are you too busy? Actually, I'm going to take down this one here, because the next hut I am going to build is going to be a straw hut. Because now there are 3 with good quality huts that people can rotate sleeping in them, because they don't go by quality, they do go by vicinity. So when they sit by the fireplace and then go to bed, they will always go to the best quality first. I am kind of hoping that that will be changed somewhere down the line in the game, so that people are basically choosing based on quality, and also who perhaps needs it the most, like children, the elder and pregnant women perhaps, while the healthy young men can easily sleep with the spiders. I think that's fair and square. Just saying. Oh, you know, when the DLCs come out, I keep thinking about the Ice Age. You know what I would really like? I have talked about this before, but I will say it again. I would love that there was a certain Hall of Fame for achievements that we are basically getting for all the either expansions or whatever they are doing. And I would love to see how many are doing what, because the player community I know is getting bigger and bigger with increased content, of course, because people don't really get bored that quickly now. So I want to see how people are doing and how long they are playing, because not everything is showing. We don't have access ourselves to all this information, but I would love to see the people's achievements. How far have you gotten? And I want people to share their experience with the game, and also I want to learn from you guys. So if you have things to teach me, go for it. I would love to hear your suggestions, your insight, things you have discovered that I don't know. Maybe you can get me to understand how the calculations are done, because I have no clue. Just saying. I would like more suggestions as well, and I'm so greedy. I also want more modders to the game. People who are making things for the game. They are modding things in the game, like the torch mod, which I had really excellent, competent, professional help to make. This is not a mod that I made. I did not sit and program. I did all the nagging. Then I had several groups of people help me make it and make it good. So be aware that this is not something I have sat down and drawn and made all the programming for. I got professional help to do that. And I will do more. There will be more. Just saying. If I want something and it's not being implemented, I will make it myself via the system I'm using. So if you are a modder and you are good at what you do, please contact me, either on Discord, on Steam, or the forums, or whatever. I have work for you. Just saying. Let me see. It's a bit too early for those yet. Where are we? March or February? We're February. Yeah, I can see that because they're of course planting. So there's no stress, for instance, with the time, because even with 4 people, although it's only half a field, you have several sleeps. You have many sleeps to do your work, and although you might not have finished your tilling, they will do both at the same time. You are often seeing that sometimes the tilling goes over the planting. That means as soon as you've tilled, it's ready for planting, and they can overlap each other. That's fine. Nothing bad is happening. It's all good. So if they are a little bit busy around tilling time, they will pick up the slack when they are planting. So that is a good thing. Definitely. So let's I wanted to show you guys a little bit how it works when your population is growing old. When they are roughly 60 years old, you will have that all their skills and their health and basically their condition is deteriorating. I'll see if I can find someone who's over 60 years old. So we can see a lot of kids. There you go. Amusiko, he is 63 years old, which means that he has started to deteriorate on everything he has. What you will see is that when his fitness has dropped to 10, he will have a skull over his head, signalizing that his few days are happening. And for each sleep, 1 point is lost in his fitness count. So when you reach 10, it will be 10-10, and then it will be after one sleep 9-9, and then after another sleep it will be 8-8. So basically what people have when they are on 10 losing fitness is they have so and so many sleeps left before they die from old age. The oldest I have ever managed was 78, but the average is between 70 and 73, I think, 73, 74. You can control this a little bit yourself, although the DNA calculations also make sure that people are living different lengths of life. You can not increase the work hours. That is one way of doing it. You can keep the work hours on default, but if you have higher, the fitness will of course go more and more down. And you can also make sure that they don't have too much rationing, because then they are keeping up with their fitness for longer. So this is also a way that you know, as a player, can manipulate the system a little bit, or actually use your policies to make sure that your people are living longer. I don't necessarily recommend it though, because as soon as they are 70, they stop working. So this needs to be a call that you as a player are making. Do you want them to live till they're 78 and have 8 years where they do nothing in the camp? Or do you want them to say goodbye to life when they are more or less no longer useful due to their high age? That is up to each and everyone how they want to play it. But remember, if you are going to try to, almost said, kill off your older population, if you do not want people to be this old, you can control it via work hours and also rationing. But keep in mind, Whatever you do to the elder of these things will also be taken out on your future workforce, which is the kids. Keep that in mind. Know what you're doing, please. So that is, ta-da, that's those done. That means we can open up the wheat and let people eat whatever's left, or make bread of it. Mill it and then make bread. Yeah, see, they don't waste any time. They all want bread. Yeah, go, go, go. Look at them going. Vroom. And then we're going to get 10 bread out of 1 unit of flour. The bread is baking. Let's see. Details. Look at the details. It looks so real, doesn't it? You go close to the grind as well. The grind, you can see that there are signs that there has been grains grinded on this mill. You can see the white traces of it. Which one are they doing now? They're doing the beets. Okay, so I think we have enough beets. I'm not going to swear to it, but I do think we have enough beets. So now that the farmers are taking their people, they are of course taking it, as you can see, from the straggler group. This way you can absolutely make sure that it is only 3 people who are going to other groups. So this is a good thing to do for everyone. If you like to have it so that you have no idle people, everyone should do their chore and their bit for the tribe, you can do it like this. I also wanted to talk about something that some people seem to not quite get. They think that if you are assigning an object to people, to a group, that you are, by that meaning that nobody can sleep in it. That's not correct. What happens is that any repairs, building and maintenance will only be done by the group you have assigned it to. But all the services are still available for the entire tribe. I do not really recommend doing it because the repairs and the maintenance is a tribe communal task, meaning everyone should have access to it. But you can increase your knowledge quickly by assigning the building task to a specific group. But what you need to remember though is that this specific group can have a swing door effect. So you wanting to make sure that it is a certain group who learns things can quickly backfire, as people will argue about who is best suited for the job, and also vicinity. If the best suited are far away doing gathering, whoever is next best suited will go on do the chores. So if a hut needs repairs after the main group has gone out to do other things, you will have someone who has no idea what they're doing perhaps go on to do the task. So there are ups and downs to each side, so that's why I do not ever assign a group to any object with any kind of services. What you can do, that I do every now and then, if I start Mesolithing and have nothing to build with regards to peltarts to try to get more knowledge, is that I assign solo groups to do the tanners, so that everything they do is the tanners only. So that is one way you can do it. There are many ways to do things, and this is one of those, to try to improve your knowledge skills so that you can actually get some huts going. Better quality huts. Let me have a look at your family. Oh! Oh! Do you know what this means? This means that we could get Mesolithic children, couldn't we? Our first child is... No, I wonder if this one is from another mother, from another father. It is, I thought so. So this one is with... I hope it's with him, because if it is, then we will have a Mesolithic child. I would love that. Yay for diversity. Okay, so they are still there's a few left of the beets, and we still have 12, so we have plenty. So if you have a full farm, like 21 times 21, and you have between 30 and 50, depending on if you have enough wooden spears or if you have to hand seed, you should be covered to cover the entire farm. So just keep that in mind, and you just multiply it with the amount of farms you have, and you will have a safe number to save for the planting. I've seen people saving several hundreds at the time. There is no need, absolutely no need. Just pay attention to how much plots can one cover with one unit, and you will see there are several plots covered. So between 30 and 50, plenty enough. No need to save half your crop in order to get them planted again next year. No need whatsoever. Let me see, I'm going to build a basket for this hut as well. On here. So let's see what is going to be here. Probably some, not more of the honey. We don't need more for the honey. We can do for other things as well. It doesn't always have to be pits. Like for when you have a lot of plant fiber, you can easily add a few more baskets to divide the food in, because this is something that has been improved, the division of food on the various storage facilities. If you have, say you have 4 pits that is supposed to be for the same food type, your gatherers will evenly use all 4, so they don't fill up one and then the other 3 are empty. They will even out their gathering resources on all. The same goes for the baskets as well, and also the storehouses. So this is something you need to keep a little bit of an eye on, because as you see, they are dividing on all the areas that has this food type. So if you see that you have many, for instance, of beet, you have several, then you need to pay attention to that. Not this one is underrepresented with regards to amounts of food that you need to save. So you need to be a little bit careful, keep a little bit eye, so you don't get tricked by it. It is a good system though, because trust me, when you have 300, 400, 500 private members and they're all trying to go for one pit, they will never get done. I'm gonna put some bread in here, I think, just extra bread. Don't mind that at all. So keep that in mind, that they will divide the foods. Not everything is just as welcome though, because we do want the best ones to be filled first, but it's either or with this system. Yeah, and this is also why it's a good idea to place limits. If you have, for instance, 4 that can carry beets, you can place the limits really low to make sure that this one gets filled first, and when you see it is filled, then you can up the limits as you see fit here as well. A bit micromanagement, but you can manipulate the system to what you want it to. And nothing is locked. You don't have to blindly be slave to how it is on default. Play around with things yourself and find your own balance. It's different for each and every player and each and every tribe. How are we getting along here? Almost halfway. If I had only done one at a time, this one would have been done already. You can see, because of the amounts, and I might have gotten basically done with one more. Maths is not my strong side. I keep harping on about it. I probably would have had roughly 2 done, but I don't mind having it like this. I don't mind it at all. I'm not in a hurry, am I? They will be built sooner rather than later. So we have a bit too much of the peas. I'm kind of hoping they will quickly eat it up before it goes to waste, because it's almost halfway to rotting, and you won't need more than roughly 30 on these. But as long as it is cultivated foods that we have some loss on, it is alright, because you decide the amount yourself. You're not diminishing anything in the wild. So go for cultivated food and harvest as little of the wild as possible. The the idea that you should have the wild food as a subsidiary to the cultivated food is exactly what is the point of having the diminishing effect. The point of having less in the wild than you can produce yourself is part of the sedentary lifestyle. It's the same today. You don't have uncapped amount of berries and fruits in the wild. When they have carried their fruits and you have plucked them, that's it. While if you do it in a cultivated setting, you can have more produce, you can have bigger produce, like it is today. Everything is factory farmed at all times of the year. So the idea is that you should basically have the main income to be a cultivated food, while the wells could be the odd snack here and there, and perhaps also be the lifesaver when you have a bad year for yield, because that can happen. Just be aware, not all years are good. You will get some bad years. It doesn't necessarily mean that you will have no yield. You will just have less yield. So if you have a very strict balance of the amounts of food you are harvesting, cultivated food that you are harvesting, you could end up with having too little food. So then it's good to have the wild produce as a backup. Look at my nuts, they're going to be wasted. I'm going to turn those down. To 20. I'm going to do the same with these, and also the same with the roots, because if we get a good balance between income of cultivated yield and the consumption of your tribe, you could go on for years and then just basically incrementally increase your farms via the increase of population. If you have enough to go around until next planting season, there is zero need to add more farms. Just keep it as is. Go by need only here. This is rather important. Do not overbuild anything. Do not over-harvest anything. Well, except perhaps a bit of mud and some sticks. That is the least of our problems. Let me see, I'm going to take down the mud again. Not you. Not you. But you. There you go. You don't need to get those anymore. Lots of stones here. That is good. And they seem to be multiple in close area, which I'm happy about. Does anyone still need to sleep out in the open? Let's have a look. No, you don't like the workouts, and you don't like them because you have a will reduction grade, which makes you grumpy and you don't want to work, so you are going to work normal hours just like everybody else. She is really unlucky, isn't she? She has both. Oh, where did she go? Crikey, there she is. She has both a fitness reduction. She is feeble. She can't work as much as the others. So that's just something that she can't help, and we can't help her, because then we are basically getting too little material into the camp. We need to have the default work hours. So she will have to grow stronger or bite through it. So it's really important that when you have work hours on default, that you leave them on default for people who have this disability, so that they can recuperate and still keep going. Because if you are increasing your work hours, you will wear them out long before you wear out anyone else, and they will be too weak to work. They will not manage to work. Then there will be a drain on your system, and we can't afford it in the Mesolithic or the Neolithic for that matter. And so then we have also, she's indecisive, which makes her not really want to do all the hard work that the others are doing. So we're not gonna accommodate that at all. We are not gonna give in to that at all. That's just the way it is. If she doesn't like it, she can lump it or leave it, basically. And a bit slow, yeah, that is all fine and dandy. I really don't care about that. That is nothing that will ruin the efficiency of the tribe, unless everyone is slow or dumb or basically imbecile, which is not going to happen, obviously. How are we for logs? We have 10. Okay, so I can still keep my wood choppers paused. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to lose some of the food, aren't I? So what I'm going to do... No, it's no point. I'm going to open up everything so people can eat what they want. And now they're going to start harvesting the beets as well. Yeah, so these are empty because we have everything we need in camp. Plus plus, so they have gone over to another group that needs them, or to the straggler group. You can see the straggler group now is full. That means we will have several idle. That is not idle due to age or to weakness. They will be idle because there is no spot for them anywhere else. So this kind of tells me that we can increase on some areas that are lacking. I can see the area that is lacking a little bit here and there is straw and the sticks. So I'm going to do that. I just need to find them. There you go. So I'm going to add 2 there to have increased income on those. And they are now, yeah, taken from those, which is absolutely fine. They go elsewhere. As soon as something is lacking, then they go and get it. And you can see that all the boars are gone now because there is no hunting, meaning there are no more boars. But I'm going to leave that one hunter, so the second a boar immigrates to us, they will go after it. Because we want all the wild produce to ourselves. I know dogs eat wild produce as well, but it's so little. I'm okay with them nibbling a little bit on our nuts in the autumn. It's fine. It's all good. I just hope somewhere in the future we will have the domestication of not only dogs but also the goats we can see. So then we can start to use proper plows and have the tilling and planting done a lot quicker, much more efficient. But one step at a time. There are so many plans for this game, so we just need to wait till they implement it bit by bit. Am I out of? Yes, I am. I'm out of wheat. What I might do though is to increase the wheat and just keep all the others the way they are, because the bread is so popular and you get such high outcome versus your input of bread or the produce from flour and wheat, that you can actually go even further down on the gathering of the wild produce, which in turn means you can stay even longer. Or it will save you if you have a really bad yield a year. It can save your life if you must harvest for a few months to keep your tribe alive over the winter, because the cultivated produce was too low to sustain all these months. So there are several ways to do it, not only one. Experimenting around is really how I have figured out most of the things in the game, and I have failed as much as I have succeeded. If you never fail, then you are not really taking any chances. You're not really, trying to find better ways to do things or pushing the limits whatsoever. So don't be afraid to experiment and make mistakes. And there are no stupid questions. So if you have an issue, no matter what it is, just ask. There's always someone there to help you and to give their view, their experience, to share what they have done themselves. And maybe one of those can actually help you out or put you on the right track of where you want to go with the game. So there are no limits. Just keep going, never give up. I'm still trying to make the Uffington horse. I think it's a small curse of mine that I never get time to complete it. This is not going to be done overnight, is it? It's going to take a long time. I just don't have it. I just don't have the time between the patches to do all these things. So I also still need to do the last achievement, which is get legendary tribe. I came to 464 and then a new patch came out. I almost cried. Seriously, because I was so close to maxing out all my achievements. I had over 50 years and I built lots of monuments. I had 236 people. I tried to keep the population low so that I could actually stay long term there, and I denied all the migrants that did not either increase my current skills or that had too many negative grades of their traits, because my balance in that tribe was very, very good. You don't always manage to get a really smooth balance, but when you do, you really want to hang on to it. So those are the things I still need to do. Last achievement and the Uffington horse. I'm gonna make another straw hut as soon as we have enough straw. We always have enough fiber due to flax granting fiber when you are threshing it, so that is never going to be an issue. Look at the moon. I love that you can see that. I don't need another mill, and I don't necessarily need another oven because the grains are going quickly enough as it is, so there's no point adding another 3. I see some people build like 4 and 5 and 6. Why? You don't even have 100 people. Why? You know, it's just such a waste to do it because they do demand upkeep. They do demand your workforce to repair them, to use them, etc., etc. There's no need. You're covering exactly what you need by having one as well when you have a small population. No need for more. And here comes the beets. So I'm gonna put this one. Oh, it has the old ones. Okay, well, it is what it is. This one has the fresh ones. I'm gonna lock this one on 37 because it will last. It will last over winter in the pits. So if I save 37, then I have enough. And if you have overweight, which I did, then your tribe will take out until the limit is reached and fill it into other places, which is this one here. So there. So now whatever comes will go in this one. Yep. And these demands fine stick though, which I don't particularly love, but hey, it is what it is. It's not like we don't have enough fine sticks. I had like 300 the other day, didn't I? Way too many sticks, but it comes from sticks. No, it's not. No, not a critical material. I have 2 on those. Should I open this? I'm going to open this one up to improve the stoneworking, because you can see we only have a few percentages left before that one is maxed, and then we only lack architecture. I want to see how far off we are, see how close we are. I'm going to wait till we have, no, never mind, we are good. But I'm going to wait till we have harvested so I don't steal workforce that needs to go do the harvesting. So the harvesting will always, or the planting and the tilling and the harvesting will take your workforce. It has a high priority, meaning that the groups will suffer a bit. So they can lose people, and this is why also it's so good to have this one, because you can see how many spots are still free, meaning that those who have been here before, making 21, has gone over to these, and you won't be using those groups that has higher priority. So it's always a good idea. Always a good idea. Idle people do nothing. Well, they do the odd mundane chores, of course, but I don't find it more efficient as such to have idle people. I find it more efficient to have someone that has the opportunity to do something all the time. There will always be some people that are close to camp who are viable, who are suited to do any of these mundane chores, like the stocking of the dryers and also the tanning, taking out bread, milling them and stuff like that, repairs and whatnot, stoking the fire and stuff like that, which is a mundane chore, a communal task chore. But they still stop work an hour or so before they are supposed to have free and eat and socialize and go to bed to do these communal tasks. So if you have your entire tribe really busy, they will still do all the communal tasks both in the morning and also in the evening. Let me see, I will only accept this. Oh, it's a female and she has skills, and she's, what is she? She is clumsy, a bit clumsy. Who cares? It's all good. I'll take you. Welcome to the tribe. Welcome to Bumblebutt. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna wait a bit because now the straw huts has just been repaired, so I'm down to 107. So if you calculate roughly 50 straw per session of repair on these, and they are in need of repair once and maybe twice per year, depending on when you built them. But it takes many, many months before they need repairs. But they are not the best quality in the world, so their constitution will drop fairly low, and then they will need quite a bit of materials to be back up to snuff again. Hello, horses. Look at the little ones, they are so cute. They only had one foal, those two. You have two, that's nice. Where's your hobby bobby? Or your wife? There she is. There you go. So these herbivores, they are eyeing your crop. Because they all herbivores in the game will come for your crop. The boars are omnivores, meaning they eat both, but for now there's only the pure herbivores that will come for your crops. So horses, deer, goat and sheep will come for your crops, the rest will not. Oh, and the hares, of course. Hares will come for your crops, but they are so cute I let them. They can come have a bit of a nibble on my wheat, it's all good. So I was thinking maybe it is a good idea for me to play longer for each session, because we are already well a week into testing the belief patch. There are more to be added though, so it's not going to come tomorrow or in a week or so. But if we want to play long term, say 30 plus years or even 50, if the seed allows, let that be said, seed is super important. If you have a really bad seed, you might not even manage 20. So it's not necessarily that you are not doing things right, but the seed can also be your curse. Just keep that in mind and don't lose confidence. If you can't stay 20 years, it has a lot to do with seed. But half the secret is that you are actually playing it really frugally and being a little bit smart in how you do things. So I was thinking maybe I should just increase the session so that we are for sure getting to at least year 20 or 30 or 40 or maybe 50 before the devs are patching over what we already have been testing the last week or so. It's quite a bit to do yet, and they have done almost half of it already, and there has been so few bugs that I think they are almost ready to patch in another series of implementations to test out. So we shall see. The belief patch is incoming sooner rather than later. Of course I will be doing a playthrough video and all those things. It's going to be so fun. I've seen some of the things that they have implemented and I just love it. You know, very, very eager to see what they do next. I'm eager for everything they do, seriously. So there's that. I also want to focus a little bit later to do it a little bit beautiful here. I will add several types of fences. And show you a little bit the difference between having all expensive fences and versus having all the cheaper ones. Because if you are going to play long term and you want to have all the best, you could actually be shooting yourself in the foot with regards to how long you can survive. Because you need to remember that the more materials you need to do anything of the materials, you will take more workforce to gather it and also to build it, because the longer you build, the longer your workforce is not doing their normal chores. So keep that in mind. I'm going to show you how, maybe I actually will on purpose make things go titty up so you can see how bad it can go. You can always recuperate, you can always recover your tribe by doing some emergency changes. So if you are unlucky and have a famine incoming, you should always pause everything that has nothing to do with food and max out all your foods. If you lose people, sure, it can happen, but at least you won't lose the tribe. Just don't give up. I have plenty famines. I have plenty people grumping up and leaving because I'm too slow with building the huts because I'm doing everything else. And yeah, and tribes are different, and whatever works with one tribe may not necessarily be as successful with the next tribe. So don't lose heart. Just keep going. And one of the things with early access is that you will have this constant update. Although you guys have update like once a month, every 4 to 6 weeks or so on the public or the backer server. Well, when you are testing the game, you are on a different server and you have much more updates. Like you can have several updates per week, so you guys can get away with experimenting long term to figure out what your play style is and how to get it the way you want it. So I can't always do long term, and hence a lot of what I do are only short term, but that teaches you to be efficient, doesn't it? If you're not efficient, you will not reach over what you need to do before a new patch is put over the one you have already been testing. So there. And the devs always need feedback from how the game is behaving from you players, so keep sending feedback, keep telling them where you either struggle, what you feel is wrong, what could be done better, what you could add, what you should take away, what should you change. Ideas, suggestions, everything is still welcome. So don't be afraid to voice your opinions, your experiences. There are plenty of people on Discord, on the forums, on Steam, everywhere that will chime in to your opinion or to your experience and share any info they might have. So don't be afraid to do that. More and more people are playing the game. You can see it on the scores, on achievements and stuff, and the amount of activity in the forums, for instance. You can see that more and more people are playing it. I see it on how many has subscribed to my mods. I have almost 140, I think, already, and the mod has only been online for everyone for a few weeks. So that tells me there are at least that many players who play regularly, more or less. So yeah, a little bit of a spy tool to figure out how many I have in the community that is actually playing. A bit more active than those who are not. Of course, they could have just gotten online, saw there was a new mod they wanted to try, then installed it and played 2 hours and then didn't touch the game. After that, that could of course be it, but at least there was 130 plus who played at that time at least. So everything goes. I see we're year 4, we're going into autumn soon. That means we're going to get a lot of... What are you? You are... Yeah, you can stay locked. So now the wheat is coming. I need to lock down the wheat. There you go. And these are they old or new? Gosh, I can't tell. I can probably get away with having only that one. And this one is the last one to be harvested. The peas are always last. The beets are always first, and the peas are always last. So if you're going to be efficient with your farmer group, if you have a little bit of issues with your workforce, make sure that the group that sorts the wheat also sorts the group that sorts the wheats are also those that sort the peas, because then they will not be doing both at the same time. Just a small tip if you're struggling a little bit with workforce. If you are struggling with workforce, you have done something a little bit wrong. So try to balance it a little bit better. Very often it's overbuilding or overproducing. There's no need to either overbuild or overproduce, because when you overbuild you need more workforce. You're stealing away more workforce, meaning you will have less materials into camp from the regular chores that the groups have. And if you're overproducing, it means you're emptying your locality quicker than you need to. There is a balance in everything. Whatever you do, the environment will respond to. And that's how it is in real life as well. So do I have enough to make, almost enough to make another straw hut? Let me see how far are they from repairs. Because this one has just been repaired. And these two are fairly close to each other. It's a good idea to not build everything in one go, because that means that you can get away with not having all 200 straw to repair everything in one go, because while you're repairing one and you have a small break in the repairs for the next hut, it means that your people can gather up again to be ready for the next repair. But if you have everything in one go, then you're going to need all the materials in one go, and that is not really a good way to do it. You can get away with controlling it the way you are building, at least when the tribe is small. However, when the tribe is really large, 200 plus, you should always have a bit of excess material, so you are not having dilapidation of the material, because when you are past the need for straw, when the straw has gone down to 0, it will start to decay on the rope, and when the rope has gone down to 0, you will start decaying on the stick. So if you don't touch it, if you let it become so dilapidated, you like 0, 0, 0, you have lost all the materials that you added. So that means you are increasing the need for resources, which in turn is diminishing your time that you can stay in the same locality. So if you are going to have a lot of items, you need to make sure that you also have a lot of the repair materials, so you don't need to add repair materials like rope and stick if you're too slow to repair. So you can test this yourself, and you will see that when the straw is reaching 0 and you're still not repairing, it will start to eat up the rope as well. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you have a lot of things that is going down and down needing repairs, you are slowing the effect down if you're pausing your structure, but it's not by much. And guess what we just got? We got Neolithic roundhouses. Yay! Right, that means, everybody knows what that means. It means that all the reeds huts will have to go when I start building my roundhouses, which also means it's time to add mud. Oh, not to this one. Which one did I normally do it? Is it this one? Probably this one is a better idea, because it's more critical materials, but that is a lot lower in need. So these numbers are easy to keep up. So I think I'm going to add the 750 mud to these, because that is what you need per mud hut. And remember that the last material added to the object is what you will need for any repairs and maintenance. And as you can see, it's not mud. I wish it was, but it isn't. It is, however, reed. So as soon as I have done that and have the mud I need, then I will go for, ta-da. No, actually I'm gonna do all of these manually, because I don't trust them to not cut down my hazelnut trees. I trust nothing. You never know what these guys do. If they're really stupid, they might actually cut your hazelnut trees. It's really bad. I'm gonna remove whatever is not granting logs. So even though you're using the tribe manual clear task tool, you can easily click out whatever you do not want. So here I have 8 chopping. That should give me over 20 logs, depending on the size of the tree, of course. Because there are calculations there as well. Yeah, I know, it's everything is researched and calculated. So I'm going to leave those at 4, because now we are increasing the sleep spots, because the roundhouses has 8 compared to the 7 of the normal big reed huts. So how old did you get? Let's have a look. Where are you? Let me find you. Oh, my guess is roughly 72 or thereabouts. Where is she? Oh my god. Where did she die? What the heck? Where did she go? Okay, that's annoying. I can't find her. It normally takes like a day or so before their body disappears into the ether. Or ether. How do you say it in English? Is it ether? Ether? I think so. Yeah, I give up. But it's going into year 5 now, so they are supposed to start dying around year 5-ish. But we can calculate it. If you calculate 5 human years per 1 in-game year, we're now in year 4. That means 20, 30, God, you can't take me anywhere. I know no maths. So if she was 50 and you add 5 years per in-game year, that is 20. That means she would have been 70. So if she was 71, if she was 51, she would have been 71. If she was 52, she would have been 72. So she would have been roughly 72, because you don't get elder people than roughly 50. I have seen max 51. So she probably was 71. If I could just find her corpse, I could find that out for sure. But of course I can't see her. Annoyingly. See if it's any of these huts. No. No. Okay, fine. So roughly 71 years old, 72 maybe. So with 200 of the wheat opposite, of 200 of the straw, you can keep up per year 4 of the straw huts, the big straw huts. Let's see how this is. I'm going to lock down this. That should be fine. This one has 18. It's a little bit low, isn't it? I'll rather do this one and then open this one up. That's a bit low and that's a bit low. So I'm going to close both of these down. But it should be okay. And this one has too low, I think. I'm locking this one too. There you go. Now you can eat whatever you guys want to. 30, 20 and 10. Yeah, I'll just keep those. Well, we have 148 of the piece, so that should go a fair while. So the food preferences, make sure that they not all are going for the same thing, although they tend to be very fond of the fresh food. So honey, raw meat, raw fish is very popular. And of course the bread, which comes straight from the oven. I would understand completely if everyone was beelining for the fresh bread. How are you going along? 570, over half. Good, good. And almost half. Now let's have a look and see if we can find her. Yeah, we did. She is 72. So that means she was roughly 51 years old when the tribe started. So this is exactly the average, between 70 and perhaps 74. You could get them up to 78, which is my max, but I think most players are limited to 76 if they have a really good balance, or if they never mess around with the work hours or the rationing. I too mess around with work hours. I too mess around with rationing based on the situation. If you are going into a famine and you need just a few more sleeps to be on top, put on the rationing, increase your work hours and make sure that everyone survives. If they die 1 year early after they turn 70, it's not a loss for you. It is actually the opposite. Harsh to say, but this is the truth from the Mesolithic and Neolithic point of view. It's not the way it is today. Thank goodness for that. Right, so how much? 320. Okay, we need more. We need 500 more of the mud before we can build the roundhouse. Let's have a look how people are doing with their skills. Look, this one has 6 skills. Normally you don't really get that many skills, but you can see the reason she's getting these skills is because she is skillful, so that does play a part. Sometimes you get lucky and you get people who are not exactly rocketing skills, but they still manage to learn because they do it enough. They repeat it enough in order to learn the skills. So this one has only 5, but she has repeated enough. You can see the smaller ones are the food processing and the fishing. So food processing is a mundane chore, which means that everyone can do it. You don't need to be skilled to do it. Of course, those who are really skillful tend to push out those who are less skillful. This is the politics I was talking about. They were arguing, and this guy is not strong on anything. You can see, in fact, he has a few that you shouldn't have, and you can see that he takes the time for him to learn, but he has 5, but they are small because he don't do them enough. And this guy has 3, but he's doing good with architecture. Oh, this girl, I mean, sorry, this woman. So being frail does not mean that you can't learn skills. Far from it. Having a disability does not mean you can't rock at the area you go into. And he is strong, so he keep going, and you can see he is already. I'm gonna refresh this one because not the lag can be a little bit bob. So when I refresh it, you will see that it's turned from Mesolithic to Neolithic, which is correct because this should always be equal. If it's a bit slow, just close window and reopen. You will have it fully updated. Let me see. He has 6, and his architecture is really good. His woodworking also is fine. You can see he's done a lot of tanning. So, what is he? Yeah, he has. He's unfriendly. Sure, whatever you call it. I call it introvert, and that's okay. Well, he can be unfriendly, no matter what you are. You don't need to be introvert to be unfriendly, do you? You can be unfriendly even if you are extrovert. Anyway, oh wow, 3 sec. She has 8. What in? And she has nothing. What is her will? What is her will? It's 100. She's maxed on everything. Look at that. She has 100 of absolutely everything. Talk about a success story. She has been doing a lot of ropes, hasn't she? She's been doing a lot of crafting, you can tell. Toolsmithing, woodworks, and you know, overall toolsmithing and also stoneworking. So we now know that she has done a lot of crafting and quite a bit of mundane chores such as repairing, food processing, and also tanning, of course, and the odd trip into a farmer's group. He is good on woodworks. He's also nothing special with regards to the grades of the trades. 7 here. Look at her. She's been a lot into food processing. She has good, strong skills in almost everything she has done. Tanning and weaving. It means she also has been either doing. No, we can only do ropes, can't we? We don't have the wattle fence yet, or maybe we do. But for me, we do. But for me, it's too early to start doing the fences, except for the fences we're using to protect our crop. So yeah, there is a lot of skilled people. I have never seen one with 10 though. I don't think I ever will see one with 10 skills. But if I do, I will surely make a screenshot out of it and be completely shocked and in awe. We used to have a biological grade of the trait fitness that was called giant. This one is the size. We had one that was giant, but that has gone away. It's just completely gone. So they have taken it away for some reason, and I do not know why. I must admit, I did manipulate the tribe selection to make sure I got at least one person with giant. So yeah, a little bit of cheating the game. Nobody's supervising. We're allowed to do what we want. We play the way we want to. So there. But I do have quite a few big ones in my tribe, don't I? A very big individual. Okay, so this is going to make quite a bit of my workforce be busy for an hour or so after communal hours are gone. When you have an okay balance in your tribe, it can be a little bit downtime with regards to things that you should or would or could or want to do. So I always have a max speed to reduce the wait time, but there's always a little bit of wait, isn't it, when you have a good balance. Just keep an eye on things. Make sure you're not lacking in anything. That will keep a good flow, like the cogs churning well without any hiccups or bottlenecks. 38, that's almost 40. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer to get a little bit high population. Then I'm going to place down one farm that I'm going to do with wheat because we want more bread. Then I'm probably going to add one more thresher to make sure that the wheat is not rotting in the piles in the storage area. Just use the rot circle. The decay, can you see here, is over half on the wheat, which means I could get away with adding another thresher and it would not be a waste because it will thresh everything and then we can store it and it will last longer. So when you come to that point, just build another thresher. Get it done. This is also why you shouldn't overhunt absolutely everything, because you will need a nice trickle of skin of leather in order to repair this, because their repair need is one leather. But it takes years, it takes several years before they need to be repaired. However, leather does not last several years, pelt does not last several years. So if you have like one hunter to take care of the needs, you are well covered for decades. Oh, we can make bone harpoons. I'm definitely going to do those because that means they are more efficient. I can put it down to 1 rather than 2. I'm going to do this immediately, and I'm going to tell my crafters to stop producing the wooden ones and instead produce a few of these. I'm going to have 4 in case we have a bad year, so that we can have something to live off and increase the fishermen doing so and be efficient. This is the best tool for the fishermen. They will be coming home quicker with a good catch, which is 4. The inventory can do 4 fish and then they will come home and store the fish. So that is a good solution. You might have to up it if you see that the produce from wild also has been affected by temperature. So you need to either increase your food gatherers of wild produce, or you need to increase your fishermen and perhaps open up for a few animals as well to hunt. But you should always do it intermittently and not always harvest the same and not always hunt the same and fish the same. You can change this as the seasons go along. Just go by the food. You can see we are going to waste a bit of the rose hips as well. So yeah, and probably a few of the flax grains too. So I'm going to be smart and I'm going to pause the fishermen until everything else is eaten up, because they like to go for the fresh food first. And at the moment, fish and bread is the only fresh food. So when the bread is gone, then they will eat up the fish and then they will go for everything else. Let me see what you have. You are a male. And you have 2 bad ones. You know what? And no skills. I am going to deny him because I already have quite a few bad grades in my tribe. You can do whatever you like. If you want to accept him and see how much you can do, that's fine. I choose efficiency above size, because this is how I have to do it in order to, if seed is bad, stay for several decades. I don't know yet if the seed is bad. It will show after year 15. You will really see if it is bad or not. You could max out your groups and let them harvest as much as they like. Then you can get an inkling of how much trees and bushes there are of the food that you desire. If you get home with 3,000-4,000 nuts in the harvest season in late autumn and early winter, you have a good seed for nuts. But that doesn't go for all the produce. You could have a bad seed for rose hips. You could have a horrible seed for honey or berries. So keep in mind that even though you come home with several thousand hazelnuts, it doesn't mean that everything else will be good. Like I said, calculations. Everything is different. Calculated on this and that and that, which I know very little about. So don't ask me. No point. how much we can. Okay, we have 750 mud. That means we can do the roundhouse. Well, my guess is that you guys already have the roundhouses. You probably have already built your projects as well. Well, I just babble along and do nothing. So I'm going to take that one first, so they don't waste materials on repairing it. And I am going to place down the first roundhouse, and I'm going to pause it until they are done with dismantling the reed hut. If I don't get 75 reed to build this one, then I'm going to tear down another one, but I'm going to wait until the morning starts, so they have the entire day to take down the hut. So you can see they managed to get quite a bit of reclaimed material, so tomorrow morning they will start doing the roundhouse. Excellent. We need raw stone, and they're going to fight for the raw stone, aren't they? Because they're taking each and every stone to build their monuments. I might never have the materials to build this Neolithic roundhouse. What if I have to pause all my projects? I might have to do that. No, I don't. Look, there's 7 coming in. And yeah, building materials is strong, so everyone who can will grab a stone and run to whatever project I've placed down. Should have thought of this, shouldn't I? Saved up a few stones before I did this. But it's not many you need. You only need 4. You're already halfway there, and there's still 7 in the camp, so I don't think this is going to be an issue at all. See, they're already done. But the peltards, is it 20 the peltard needs? There's quite a few raw stones, isn't it? But you kind of need to hold down the pelts, don't you? You need to hold down the leather so the storms and wind doesn't take it. So it does make sense, doesn't it? How far off are we here now, though? Okay, a little bit. We are above what we need for stoneworking, which is why I put the bifests on 50 on limit, because I need not spam them anymore. But architecture got a little bit of a way to go. I'm going to cheese it a little bit. But it's no point yet. You know why? Because I have such a long way to go with these anyway. So there, no need. So when you have all the materials in camp, then you can just go along and build whatever you want. But keep in mind that if you have to wait for material to come in, the people who have started working on the project, first of all, their skill, if they are going for rudimentary skill, is likely not going to happen unless they manage to build long enough. Secondly, those who are building and running out of material will go do other chores. And if you are coming home to camp with materials while other people who are close are doing chores, they will release themselves from those chores, stop what they're doing, and then go build instead. And this isn't always good. You should make sure that you have all the materials you have in the you need to build the object in the camp before you build the object, because that means you will not interrupt anyone, because all your workers that are going to be on your project will go directly from breakfast, after social time, after communal tasks, to go build the Neolithic roundhouse, meaning you will not lose work hours on wasted logistics to one place for just to turn back again to do your bidding. So keep that in mind. Always get the materials you lack into camp before you build the larger projects. Good to know. Oh, this basket is just standing out here in the open. It's just like have no belonging. There you go. So now we are going to take down this one, which is it empty? It is. We can take it down and then we place it by the roundhouse instead. So we can have it roughly there, I think. Don't need to have it closer, cause problems. And I am going to, where are they? There you go. Ta-da! I am going to have a torch. Right, so now I'm going to wait until I have another 750 of the mods and enough of everything else. How many? trees still needs to be cut. No, they have cut them all down. That's fine. You need 12 per hut, isn't it? It's 12? It is 12 logs. So I have enough for another one, and then I'm going to do a few more trees manually. I think it's the rain is doing something to my torch. Please don't kill it. Oh my god. How are we doing here? We have plenty food, plenty peas. Okay, so tilling has started for the beets, and now the wheat is going to need planting. I need to open up the wheat, the grains, because there's way too many. Look, they're almost halfway rotted, so I'm going to let people do the milling and bake bread, because they will go like, hot bread. I think the saying is hot cake, or is it hot tea cake, bread cake? What is it that you British people say? Like hot cake? No, never mind. I won't remember. Someone can tell me. Someone can tell me in the commentary field below. What is it that you British people call it? Okay, so this is, yeah. Processing leather. But she's not doing it enough. Did you see that? She was doing it for a few hours, but it wasn't enough to gain the leather working skill. Granted, she is very young, but she has nothing that should hinder her from learning. She might need more breaks, stopping more often to wipe her brow because she is feeble. She's a bit slow, but nothing at all that will hinder her to reach the heights she wants to or can. What are you doing? You're too old to work. You're 66. 66. That means that my labor age is not. Okay, so this one is growing old. You can see she's now reducing her fitness, and with reduction of everything, you will see that she's coming closer and closer to putting everything on default. So we have 1 left on the labor time, 1 left on the labor age, and we have 3 left on the rationing. So in a few years' time, she will be gone. She will be roughly 72, so that's roughly 1 year. It's not a few, it's only 1 year. Within a year she will be too old to work, and she will then go down and down and down until she reaches 0, and that's when he will pass from old age. So you can go quite low on the constitution on the pits before they demand repairs, but when they do demand repairs, they ask you for quite a few sticks. Yeah, but it's preferable to anything else, absolutely anything else. Sticks are preferable. How are we doing? 467. Yep, getting there. Okay. We haven't had any pregnant ones. Oh, we have. I tell a lie. We do have a baby. And we have 20 females. That could easily mean a lot more children, pending the probability. You see, even though I constantly have like 100 fine sticks, you don't waste them, because you keep making new ones because of the decay on wooden tools. They of course should be deteriorating rather quickly, and they are, and this is correct. So the reason why this one is deteriorating so slow compared to the wooden spears is because they might be made from a fine stick which is easily rotting, but they also have the flint, which takes many years to go brittle enough to not be usable anymore. So there's a reason why some of the tools have higher decay than others. Axes are also more or less on the same as the flint spears, but axes do more brutal work, so the flint can go more damaged, I think, than the flint spears. because you don't exactly kill trees and stuff like that. You kill soft tissue, don't you? You thrust them into soft tissue rather than hammering on trees. Right. So I'm just going to let them go about their days. Just enjoy them working. I don't necessarily like the small fireplace, the way it looks, because I kind of find it very nice with the stones around them. But when you are from a distance, the grey area, which is the ashes, kind of looks like stone, doesn't it? So it tricks you a little bit to be a bit more satisfied with what you're watching. I know, cheating, but it is what it is. Okay, let's get everything back. Okay, wheat is done. It will soon come up more green sproutlings. How are we doing with this? Yeah, you're almost done there as well. Good, good, good. This can be opened for sure. Certainly this. And most certainly this. Look at the speed, look at the speed. Oh, room, room, room. Yep. Okay, enough mud now. We have enough ropes, we have enough logs. And we lack a little. Okay, I need to put it on 75, which is why we lack a little bit of reed. Because the maintenance I put it on is 50, so it needs to go up to cover a hut. So that means when communal tasks are over, people will fill up these spots from the straggler group. So now you can see everyone is busy because people from the straggler group have gone over to farmers and they have gone over to the other groups to get the materials that I just ordered. So everything is working perfectly, exactly as it should. No waste of workforce and minimal waste of resources. It is a lot easier to waste at the start of the game than it is at the end of the game, because at the end of the game you have a much higher population but you have a much lower overproduction. The overproduction is difficult to do because everything gets eaten, hence it goes away from being overproduction or overharvesting, because everything will be eaten and used. So with regards to the waste, it will always be highest at the start. This is why you should be really strict on all your limits. Put them low. It's all good. If it's too little, you have several days to rectify it. No panic. It's all good. Some players also would like to know how you calculate how much people are eating. So 1 unit is for a grown-up guy, a grown male. The females who are pregnant eat a little bit more, elder eat less, and children eat less. So if you have a mixed tribe like we do, well, like everyone will have, you can do the finicky mathematics with taking all the grown-ups and then times with the unit. So this is 37. That means that for each meal the adults will take 37 units. If you have a pregnant, which we do not do, then you add a little bit more, like 0.3% or 3%. And idle doesn't matter. They will eat based on what group they're in. Babies are fed from the mom. Children will eat less than half-ish, and elderly will eat a little bit over half-ish. So you have adults plus this. So then you can calculate roughly. I normally calculate in a 200 population tribe. You will have between 75, 70 to 100, depending how many adults versus pregnant versus elder versus children. And then if you are calculating roughly 1.5 unit for a mom and a child, you will quickly figure out how much you are needing. Adults are a full unit each and every time. So between 70 and 100, so roughly between 140 and 200 per day when you have a population of 200. If you have a population of 38, if you calculate roughly 35-ish, perhaps lower if you have many kids and few adults, roughly 35-ish per meal. Then it's roughly 70 per day. So for every sleep you need 70, and as you can see we have plenty enough for several days. So you can do this calculation fairly quickly yourself and then figure out, do I have enough for this, what is coming in tomorrow, because you can control that, and then minimize your waste, and also foresee if there are problems arising, because if you are going into winter you will basically have no wild produce that you can rely on. So if you have way too little cultivated produce and have basically nothing left from the wild produce, it is time to use your hunters and your fishermen to avoid famine. So keep that in mind. Good to know. I might change my fireplace though, because I know it's not rocks, I know it's ashes. We want rocks! We want rocks! Gonna wait a bit more. I'm not gonna add more farms. I'm just gonna wait out until I get more people. Just have it on max speed and let them work their way through. What is your problem? I know you're feeble, but you know, it is the way it is. Just soldier through it, I'm afraid. And you can keep working because you're just complaining because you're lazy. I'm not gonna fall for it. Oh, I forgot about this one. It needs honey. I also forgot to check what was taking these two spots. Remind me to check what is taking these two spots. We will find out if I remember. So it's roughly 50 per hut for repairs. So if you have 4 huts, you should have roughly 200 in your camp. You can go lower if you had a bit of time between all the huts you built, so that they can gather to get new max again before the next hut needs repairs. Just a little bit calculation that you can do yourself as a player to get less waste and to get a better efficiency. See, they're now using only the haystack, which is all good and dandy. So this one has just been repaired, this one has just been repaired, and this one has just been repaired. So this one is the one that will, you see there's 61 left, or 50, meaning that there's one left for this one before they go and gather 200 again, and then next time it's repair time, it will be the same over and over again. So the huts are always covered. So now I can build a new roundhouse, but I am going to wait because people are still doing stuff here. Or are they just finished tilling and waiting for the time when they're going to plant? Or are they done planting? Gosh, why don't I remember these things? Oh. Planted in spring, harvested in early autumn. So they are done. Just see if there are sticks sticking up. Yeah, there you go. Time for a roundhouse. Let people get out of them first. So, wake up. There you go. Close it down. And get ready to place down another one. I'm going to pause it till they have taken down the the grid hut, and this one has to go as well. That can go easily. I love the rain and thunder, the lightning. It's really nice. Okay, that was done fairly quickly, wasn't it? Woof, they were gone. That's good. Nothing bad about that. Okay, year 5. We're just going into year 5 spring. Gonna play a bit longer so we can get some speed on all this. 6:55, almost there. So they still need to eat up the peas. And I still have my fisherman paused so that they should go for the other food. I hate waste. So you guys are going to eat up what's there before you get more, seriously. Now I just need to remember to keep an eye on it so I don't start a famine because I'm senile. That would be... oh my goodness. It's like do as I say, not as I do. Like a proper parent. Oh, I can see them coming up. Can you see? The tiny, tiny sproutlings are coming up. Come on guys, start eating up stuff. Oh, the nuts are gonna go, aren't they? Unless they're eating from the nuts. Please be eating the nuts. Nice. Go eat. Oh! Bubbles and Squeak, we can now make the menhirs, the big ones. Da da da. No, I'm gonna place it here-ish in the middle, but I'm not gonna start building it yet. I can place it, and then I'll put it on pause. At the moment it's tribe responsibility and I don't want that, so I'm going to put it on pause anyway and then give it to the struggler group when they are done with the rest. But now, ta-da! See, these also grant architecture, which is why we have built our architecture so good. So if you have the ability to build the small menhirs, chuck up a few to keep some of the people busy to build your architecture. You don't have to necessarily wait and wait and wait. Chuck up monuments. Ta-da! What is that on the wall? It's like a small bag of some kind. That one's got it too. It looks like someone has hung something on a hook, you know, on the wall. I'm going to check out the others as well if they also have a bag hanging. Could be one of those things that the gatherers go to harvest mushrooms and stuff and berries into. Who knows? Okay, so now we are waiting again for more mud. Mud will kind of never end. It's like with sticks, it never ends. If you have water, there will be mud formed as well. Water and soil, or sand or whatever it is. Earth, dirt. How are you guys doing? Eating up? Yeah, you're eating up? Good, good. Look at the roots. Everybody hates roots. I need to keep an eye on this so I just don't suddenly have a famine because I've forgotten to feed my people. Oh no! Can't have that. Okay, I'm gonna add this one here. What did I take away? I took away the bread, didn't I? The bread basket. There you go. And of course you are getting a torch. A standing torch. Stationary light. Okay, bread it is. There are 20 breads now. So they've eaten up the wheat grain, so no waste there. And they're going to eat up the beets. and then they need to do the flax grains for sure. But they seem to, in this tribe at least, to like the peas better. Also remember, for anyone who's new, if you have only one storehouse or only one storage facility for your crop, the seeds that you are saving, when they need repairs, they sometimes take out what was in it. And if you do not have an overflow storage area that you have locked for this for this purpose, you could lose all your seeds to people eating them up. So do not forget to have a backup plan for when your main storage facility needs repairs. Remember, remember, remember. So now that everything is gone here, I'm going to put this on lock again and see if I can get that one filled to the amounts I want. And you can also go there, yes, and be locked. You be locked, and you not yet. So that's the only one that lacks to be locked. And people are eating from them, so that's excellent. Good, then I can lock it. And we basically have no waste. They are standing in a long line now because I have only one pit. So everybody has to wait their turn. So we are going to lose little bit of work hours, but I find that a little bit more preferable in smaller tribes where you need to be careful with waste for your future longevity. Okay, so now I'm going to start up my fishermen and also my food gathering groups again. There you go. So they can start getting food, because 18 units is not enough. 28 units might not be enough, but now you can see you're getting other types of food as well. So now we have already covered the evening meal. Plus. It is a bit finicky to constantly do these calculations on the food. But if you wish to min-max, if you wish to see how long you actually can stay in the same locality, I guarantee you, if you follow a bit of my methodology and also improve the methodology by your own gameplay, how better it suits you and the tribe that you are playing at the moment, you can live here for many, many decades. And I'm not even kidding. Not kidding. I promise you can do it. Just play a little bit smart. It is so important to be stingy in the game here. No waste, no over harvesting, no overproducing. That's basically what there is. If you have issues with getting a good balance, if you can't seem to do it right, I am on Discord 24/7 more or less. You can just ask for help. If you stream what you are doing, I can guide you as you go along, and then I can also see how your tribe behaves to the environment and the orders and the policies that you have granted or given. So then we can discuss how you can do it even better. Because if you want to make huge projects, if you want to make any of the monuments that are coming, you will need to stay sedentary for decades in order to complete them. So you can just as well start now to improve your gameplay, so you can manage to stay as long as possible in the same locality. Because we're not getting trading yet. We have to wait a little bit before we get trading, and when trading comes, I can almost guarantee you that everyone can be sedentary via trading. Unless you just play really silly and not care for anything, then you will not make it no matter what you do. So if you really want to improve, you can just contact me and I will help you where I can. If you don't mind me helping you, of course. 500 mud, I'll wait a bit longer. The nuts are halfway. It's like the decay on the nuts has been increased, because they used to last quite a while, but look at them now, they're halfway through. So that means that these were leftovers from early winter. That has to be it, otherwise this is wrong. The decay is wrong. So that is the only reason, that the only thing that explains it is that these are leftover from overwinter. Yeah, that is it. Otherwise something is the matter. And I will quickly find out if that's the case, because when late autumn and early winter comes, there should be a new batch ready. And they will basically have 0 decay on them since they have just matured. Plenty of ways to figure things out. I see they found a boar, my hunters. Sneaking in. Have almost 1 unit of honey. That's the first thing people are going to go for. They're going to go for, no, it's probably on the racks. Yeah, they won't touch the racks. So if you are going through a famine and you see that people are still chucking up tons of fish and raw meat, take away the assignment and they will take it down to the basket and people can eat them. Because the adherence to not touching anything to consume from the dryers has been so strongly coded against in this HotFix that it will never happen, to many players' happiness. Because some people like to plan a little bit different for the winter. For instance, you are supposed to rely on your wild produce, your plant produce during their season, which is summer, late spring and autumn. If you are to save up for stuff for the winter, don't save the plant produce because they will decay. While if you have the dried meat and the dried fish, they will last through the entire winter, which is what some players would like to do. They would like to have the dried fish and the dried meat for winter consumption, and I understand that because that is actually the way to do it. So it's a good tweak that they have clamped down even harder on when people go help themselves from the dryers when they're hungry just because they love meat and fish. So they're not allowed to do that. So remember, you can't take away the assignment if you're going into a famine. Let people eat them raw. They still eat it and enjoy it. How many do you have? You have 38. That's fine and dandy. Then rest can go here. Yeah. Yeah. And there's still more to come. So this has been a good year. You can see that the yield from the beets are quite high, which is really good. I mean, it's barely half a field, so it's really good. Let's see how many people we have pregnant. Okay, none. Okay, well, when I save the game to finish off this this episode, I could get a better seed for pregnancy when I come back, when I load the game again in a few days. What are you waiting for? Oh, you're waiting for a place to sit and eat. I'll help you out a bit so we don't have that. Let's have a bench so people can sit and eat, so they don't stand in line and wait for areas to sit, for places to sit and eat. They go into their houses and they also sit on stones and on benches to eat, and also around the fireplace if there's nothing else. But if they're very close to an area or very close to a stone, they tend to stand around and wait for the stone to be free. So just add alternative areas they can sit on, and then they will divide themselves fairly okay. No, I only have this one left. Just need another 100 mud and then I can get that one up as well. Okay, so I have 6, 12, 18, 24, and then 8, 16, 24. 24 plus 24 is 48. It's 48. So I actually had too many. Well, don't mind that. A little bit much is okay. I am going to dismantle this one and not build anything yet, because with these two And these 4, we have 38. No, we have 40. Duh. Gosh. 6 times 4 is 30. Oh my god, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna stop doing this out loud. Everyone knows I'm a complete schmuck when it comes to mathematics. It's 24, for heaven's sakes, Lily. It can't take you anywhere. And this is 16. So 26 plus 10 is 36 plus 6 is 42. So I'm not gonna build more, just leave it. But there's quite a bit of reed there that will go to waste. I don't like that. Unless I get migrants that has some good skills or have little bad grades of their trades, then I can take them. You see people are eating inside here, they are crafting inside here, they're doing some of their stuff inside. Wait a minute, let me see how it works out with this one. If I place this one like that, okay, then the baskets can just stay the way they are. You see, it fits perfectly, so I'm going to do that, but just put it on pause for now. What's the matter? Is it raw stone you're lacking? Yep. Yeah. Well, you're going to be on pause, so you can just chill there. A lot of flax here as well, isn't it? Oh wait, that's wheat. It looks a bit green, so I got a bit tricked by the green color, because the flax looks a little bit green tinted, doesn't it? Yeah, I still got a bit here to do. $38. That one has more. But they will fill this one now, won't they? To 25. So wheat is incoming soon. Wheat is third last, and then peas to the very, very last to be harvested. I look at all the berries that we don't need. The lovely rose hips. I'm just going to let them do their thing and just keep watching them. Oh, I want to go see how the family that was pregnant with a Mesolithic man is doing. Oh, he has an old wife, but it doesn't mean that he can't have babies with others. But they are a couple. Oh, she has nothing, okay. So that's her dad. Look, she has a sibling who is Mesolithic. And what is her husband? Her husband is Neolithic. Okay, so this one is 22 and she's Meso. And yeah, because she came with these, didn't she? And her sibling is pregnant. They are born. Are they twins? Or did her dad get this one with another one? No. But she has more siblings. Does that mean he has fathered more? Okay, now I'm confused. I'm just gonna forget about this. There are some calculations that I can't explain. It is what it is. I'll just play. It's all good. Oh gosh, look at all the beads. It's a good thing we turned down the wild yield, otherwise there would be a bit of waste, wouldn't it? Don't want that. Did I remember to turn down the, I did, yeah, I did, never mind. I'm gonna up these to 50. Because I am soon going to add another field, create one more farmer group and grant 6 people, like we discussed earlier, to cover that farm. And they are going to do wheat, because the output of wheat is so good. So every 2 grains give 10 bread, which is great. It's really good. And people love bread. We love bread today as well, don't we? Everybody loves bread. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people do. Oh, the beets are out in the open because I put limits. Off with the limits. People will come and tidy them into the pit as soon as they have the time. Ta-da! And then we hindered early decay on those. When it comes to these pits, just be careful when you have a high population to have too few of the pits, because if you constantly have too few, people are going to stand for hours in line and you will lose a lot of work hours to this. So rather have too many pits rather than too few. Just keep that in mind. Okay, let's see what these are. Okay, they are 2 males. You have okay skills. No traits or grace that are bad for efficiency. You look excellent. I would take him for him alone. And what is she? She is also excellent. I'll take these. So now we have just about enough sleeping spots. And we have a pregnant one. Excellent. That was the sister of the Mesolithic woman Zara, wasn't it? Ekani is her name. She is now pregnant as well. But since her father is Mesolithic, I wonder if that could mean that they could get a Mesolithic child. But how could it? Because it's culture, isn't it? Culture is taught, not DNA. So my logic doesn't make sense, does it? So I'm likely not going to get Mesolithic children unless the system allows for it. Because that could happen, you know. The system could allow for it. Because you can see they have one of each. No, I tell a lie. Her mum is. But still, she has a Mesolithic dad. And she's... okay, it could be the mum. Yeah, okay, you are correct. So if the Mesolithic children are born before 4K, they can become Mesolithic. But if they're born after 4K, they are likely more going to be Neolithic. Even though they have both the same culture, because you can see this one has a Neo mom and a Meso dad, but she is fully Neo herself, and this one has fully Meso, and she's 22 years old, so she probably came with these people. She came with them already. She wasn't born to the tribe. We shall see. We shall find out, because at the moment we have 3 Mesolithic members. We can't see the numbers, but you get used to, based on your population, how many of these are actually counting as Meso. And we have 3, or do we have 4? I could be wrong. Let's have a look at the... So she is still going strong, but in 10 sleeps, in 5 weeks, 10 sleeps, she is going... No, not 5 weeks. 1 sleep is 1 week, so 10 sleeps is 10 weeks. She is going to, so in at 10 fitness, she will start to lose everything. She will go down and down, and she will then also probably max out the limits, meaning she will be red all the way down here, red to here, and red to there. They don't care about communal tasks, the tribe leaders, because the point is that the tasks you are doing are not harming you as such. They're not decreasing your happiness and stuff like that. The tribe leaders don't care if you spend half your day chopping down woods or stocking the dryers, as long as you are happy with the food you get, happy with the work hours, and happy with the labor age. They don't bother. They're happy with you deciding alone what the people should do, as long as they're happy with everything else. So that is a good step. You can always decide this yourself. I rarely do that unless I have tested around with doing tribe only, doing the farms. Then I max out the communal tasks, so that the farms are always prioritized by the tribe. But it doesn't always go well, because you could easily almost say run your ship aground if you have it prolonged. So if you are going to do that, you need to make sure that the entire tribe chimes in for a few days before you lose all resources and before all food goes too low. So I recommend just keep it on equal for each of the opportunities you have. Either too many or too low can cause imbalance, so just keep it equal between the communal tasks versus the group tasks, because they're all important. Look at that, 719. We are certainly getting there. So I guess now is the time to build this one. Because as soon as this baby is 2 years old, it will go to the children section and also take up a sleep spot. Yeah, lacking raw stones. What a shocker. Because now we're past when these can be harvested, or it's a little bit early still. Oh no, it's September. Yeah, it's roughly now-ish, pending temperature. So now we just like to get these in the house. How many are those? 75 is too much. How many are here? Yeah, I'll do those instead. And open these up because it's too many. 38, fine. Okay, so they are divided on those two, that's fine. 8. Oops, that's fairly low. I'm gonna lock these two because the wheat has been harvested. And how much do they have to still do? 91. Yeah, no, it should be fine. It should be fine to open up one of them if they divide equally whatever is left of the wheat into grains. What is this? I can't see what it is. Can you see what it is? Can't see what it is. Gosh, why can't I see what it is in those bags? Is it bread? It's bread, isn't it? But why are they not putting them here? Or maybe I'm wrong. So as soon as someone's picked them up, I'm going to pause the game so we can go check what's in their inventory, because I can't tell what they are. Are they, no, they're not. God, I can't believe I can't see what it is. Can you guys see what it is? I'm really curious. Look what they've done to the benches. They have added so that people are doing graffiti on them. You see they are making stripes and everything on the benches. I haven't seen that before. Like, you know, cutting, you know, probably with their flint axes or their raw stone axes and stuff. Wait a minute, are these just beets perhaps? That could be it. Let's test it a bit. Let's see. Yep, that's exactly what it is. It was beets. Sure. Now they're going to take out 3 again. Can you see they took them out again and placed them on the ground? And then when I do that, it would be the moment I put them back in the storehouse. They are so obedient and quick, aren't they? So efficient. I don't mind that in the slightest. What are you lacking? We don't have enough mud? I thought I did have mud. Maybe I was a bit too quick. I was too quick. I'm going to pause it while they are getting the mud so they don't run back and forth. Because that's annoying. Let's not have them running back and forth because it's a loss of work hours. Bad logistics. Bad planning, Lily. Bad form. Bad form. We'll see if these are different. So they seem to be differently made. So this has very little graffiti or carvings on it in comparison to the other one. But it has a bit of a green moss and stuff. It shows that it's the oldest one, doesn't it? Because you get these kinds of things on them, don't you? Yup. How much is it I'm lacking? So when I get roughly 500, then I'm going to open up the building of them again. And now they are harvesting the peas. Yes, yes, yes. It's going to be a rich winter. People are going to eat like kings. I am putting you on pause. I'm just gonna make sure that they eat up whatever is about to go over halfway on decay before they do the fresh food. So you can see they're fairly even, the yield, fairly even. 18 and 16. You can see also the tribe is placing it fairly equally in all the pits. Those are peas. Oh, I know why. Ta-da. There you go. Okay, so I think it's time to focus on when summer is come and gone. During winter or before winter starts, I'm going to add another farming group and get down the farm. So how far have you guys come? I bet a lot of you are way ahead of me. You might have been luckier with regards to getting a tribe that already had maxed out enough architecture to get the roundhouses, and maybe you had a lot more migrants or pregnancies, or you accepted more migrants than I have. So we might not be exactly on the same place. Let me see. But as long as we have done more or less the same things, and you have achieved success in what you are doing. Now we are year 5 and you're still going strong. You are doing it right. Even though most people do not experience issues after year 5, it can quickly go really bad within year 5 anyway, depending on how you play. If you do not pay attention to your groups, do not adjust anything, you could easily drive your tribe into the crevasse. I'm very optimistic. So how many farms do you have now? How many people do you normally use? Are you making sure, for instance, that you're using every day that you have available for your people, so that everything is finished like a day or two before the season ends? Or are you hysterically chucking in everything you have so they're done in 2 days? Because that is not necessarily a good way to do it. It really depends on the situation in your tribe. If you have a good balance with having fewer, letting them use the few days that they have extra for the planting and the tilling and the harvesting, there is no law against it. You can do it however you like, however. But if you are keeping the entire tribe away because you want to have them done in a few days, you could quickly go very low on materials. Especially if you're also having people repairing stuff all the time. So, yeah. Let me see. Did I take away the... Oh, I know. I took it away because I thought I wouldn't do it anymore, didn't I? Because I thought I had enough, and then I accepted 3 migrants and poof, they would go over. So that's why the mud is so slowly coming in. Because it's not coming in, is it? You too old to work? You are? All the rose hips are going. Fine. They have kind of lasted for a long time, haven't they? They were harvested fairly early, so I shan't complain too loud. And this is when the nuts are supposed to be in season. You can see the decay is nothing in comparison. So this means that it was leftovers that we had in early spring earlier, because they should last till roughly start winter and good temperatures, and then they should no longer grow. So this is why you can see that the decay is much lower, because we are smack in the middle of the time where they are harvestable, where they have matured and are ready to be picked up from the ground. So yep, mystery solved, or theory confirmed, I guess is more correct to say. But now that this one is done, I'm gonna see if I can cover more areas by redoing the field. How far does it go? Okay, it goes below, one below the... See, I did it again! There. Okay, so... Nope, there are things growing there as well. Okay. I'm gonna have like 14 of these icons in the end if I don't stop doing this. Crikey, Lily. I'll just leave them now. 300. Yep. Okay, so they are eating the rose hips before they are decaying. That's good. The devs did talk about that they wanted to change the food preference to that they try to go for things that are decaying more than others first, to make sure that you don't have too much waste coming from the food preference system. So this is something I'm looking forward to, because otherwise you will have to fiddle about a bit and do quite a bit of micromanagement in order to make sure that people eat up things they don't like, above always going for the things that they do like. So that is a welcome tweak whenever that comes. It looks like it's here already, but I haven't heard anything about it or tested it, so I assume it is not here yet, even though it could be explained as well with that people have that preference, that they do like the rose hips better than, for instance, the beets or the peas. I wish I knew for sure what the thing on the wall is, though. It does look like a bag of some kind. Doesn't it? Yeah, it does. It does, it does. How are we doing with logs? We need more logs, so I'm going to go get a few more logs. I'm gonna go this way. Be careful so you don't chop your hazelnuts. Oh, thunder. That'll do it, and as usual, take away whatever you do not want them to do. Ta-da! Can you see she's got the skull now, which means that she is dying from old age, and you can see everything is going down and down, and her fitness is now 9 out of 9, and tomorrow it will be 8 out of 8, and until it reaches 0, and then her final day is upon her, and she will pass from old age, and we will get another tribe leader. So this one died from old age. I'm gonna see. A little bit undignified that they are just, you know, left like that. 72, yeah. His wife was quite a bit younger. His daughter is very skilled. She has she's a little bit clumsy, but she makes up for it by being smart. She's so smart. She's plus 40. That will affect her ability to learn. Definitely. Well, you can see after she slept, it's down to 8. So another 8 sleeps, and then she is dying. Circle of life. It is what it is. So how are we doing? 160 still a lot. How many do you have? You have 38. I'm going to open up you for consumption. How many do you have? 38. I'm going to open up you as well. And you are staying open, and you have what I need. Yeah. Don't need 75. We don't need 41. We need max 30. So they can take out whatever is overflowing. Oh gosh, suddenly I had like 700 mud. I completely forgot about this one, didn't I? How are we doing with the logs? Oh no, we have the logs we needed. Duh. No need to do those. Off they go. Good balance. Good flow. They fit nicely there anyway, I hope. And suddenly when the hut is done building, you will get both of these going inaccessible, or the hut being inaccessible. Oh, crikey. Oh, oh. Is that snow? Dude. Oh yeah, you know why? Because it's not right below 0 degrees in January, which of course makes sense because it's icy cold, isn't it? Oh, a little bit of snow. That is actually quite nice. Went a little bit cold here. So this is, I think it's called thunder snow, if I remember correctly. It's called thunder snow. I have seen it a few times when I lived in northern Norway, but I have never seen. Oh, I can see the lightning! Crikey! Could you guys see it over here? Did you guys see it? It was over here. That is the first time I have seen that. Man! You know what's really good about this? I recorded it. It's recorded. We can make screenshots. Oh, I love that. Have you guys seen the lightning before in game? I never have. Trust me, I have played a lot. It's the first time I see it. That was great. So now I'm gonna constantly look for the flipping lightning. That was just fantastic to see. Really nice to see. Yay for lightning. Okay, let's get some speed again and get going. Also, new players, if you are in doubt what the various control and mouse clicks and stuff can do for you, you just click the question mark, a quick control help, and then you can get up the list of everything you can use on keyboard and mouse to interact with your tribe. And you just click again on the question mark to get rid of it. Also, the X has more than one function. If you have it on tribe page, when you click X, you will have a blueprint of absolutely everything that you as a player have played down, and all your units. You will see all your units everywhere on the map. They are white circle outline. If you are wanting to spy on a specific person to see what they are doing, you highlight them and then you press X, and then you can see where they're going. At the moment it's night, so they don't have any particular long destination, but you can see the yellow half, the bow is their destination. Okay, so she's sleeping. When she wakes up, she will have a destination. You can see, ta-da-da-da, going to get what she wants to get. So it's a quick overview of what you have and where people are, basically. It's rather helpful. I quite like having it. I use it a lot. Especially if I'm trying to find my flipping storage places, because sometimes when they are empty, you don't really see them until you go really close, because the icons disappear, don't they? So unless you go like this or go close, you won't see where they are. So now you can see everything. The exact measurements of absolutely everything. So that is good. So that is it for today. Part 3 ends here, and we need to remember to save our games all at the same time, and we shall convene to do part 4 in a few days time. I'm going to try to make it really long then as well, so we can make sure that we manage to live for decades in the same locality before there's a new patch coming out. And as usual, it has been fun. Thank you everyone for following and doing this with me. It's really cool, and I shall see you next time. So in the meantime, have fun and do take care.